The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Ooh, yeah. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Ooh, yeah. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Ooh, yeah.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Business Zone with Christo and Gilbert. Gilbert is on his way. He's caught in traffic. How's everybody this week? It's been a busy week. Today has been an incredibly busy day. It is June 14th. We are already halfway into the year, which is just phenomenal all by itself. I guess there's just so much craziness going on such a regular basis that, wow, it just takes a lot out of you, and the whole day goes by, and next thing you know, it's already half the year. So what are you guys doing for the half the year? So you know that we got to do some planning, we got to do some things to be ready for the second half of 2019, because before you know it, it'll be 2020, and there's some incredible stuff. The elections are coming up. Hey, everyone on Facebook, elections are coming up, and that requires you to be on point and ready for that. I hope everyone is going to vote. It is so important, and make sure that you are reviewing everything that you're voting for, because there's some things that's on the ballot that's going to be really important. Homelessness and housing and affordable housing and things like that is going to be on the ballot, and that's local. And then of course, the presidency is super important, that we pull ourselves together and understand that, you know, we need to get that man out of the White House, because he's going to destroy all of us. But there's some other things that are going on as well. And I think, you know, people are waking up and they are seeing that they need to be more connected and more involved. And it's really, really important for all of us to do that, because there's some things that's happening that is going to really, truly affect all of us. And so just want to let you guys know that because we can no longer keep our head buried in the sand. We have to get involved. And that means on everything. Hey, Sharonda, how are you? Hey, Billy. Hey, Michael. And hey, Kevin. Welcome to the Business Zone. So Gilbert should be here shortly. But before he gets here, and while he's on his way in, I ran across a book, and I actually saw this interview last week on Bill Maher. And I don't know how many of you actually watch Bill Maher, but he had a presidential candidate on. His name is Andrew Yang. And I was watching, hey, Sharonda, I was watching the interview, and I was very, very impressed with Andrew. And the reason I'm impressed, and he mentioned his book, and I started reading his book last week. And his book is called The War on Normal People. And it's the truth about America's disappearing jobs and why universal basic income is our future. So I wasn't quite sure what the universal basic insurance income was. I do know now. But what I was impressed by in his book, and everyone should read this book, is called The War on Normal People, and normal people being you and I and anyone else that is not working in Silicon Valley or Silicon Beach or part of the one percenters who are quite safe because they have money coming out of their ears. But the regular people, the people that are working in retail jobs, people working at hospitals, people working in insurance, people that work in hospitality, any of those type of jobs are going to become obsolete. And over the years, obviously the horse and buggy was one at one point our transportation, and then the cars came along. Ford built the Model T Ford, and then we had cars, and so the world is always evolving, but not necessarily the people. And that's what he's talking about in his book, that there will be industries that we know of, and that those of us that have been born in the last 4 or 5 decades, we've come to rely upon. Those industries will be gone. One of the ones that he talks about is the trucking industry. That's probably going to be the very, very first industry to go. And that means that there are over 1 million truckers out there, and the trucks are going to become automatic, self-driving, and it will save those that ship products and services and agriculture and things like that. It's going to save them billions and billions of dollars, but it's going to put millions of people out of work. And so basically, we have to talk about, what are you going to do when those jobs are gone? If we look at what happened in the election when Trump was elected, was because the miners no longer had jobs. There were a lot of people that had been put out of work, and the industry was gone, and there was nothing to replace it. So now you have these these people are living below poverty and no skills in order to find new work and new jobs and new industries for them to work in. And so today's show, when Gilbert gets in, we're going to really talk about it. Today's show is about, what do you need to do to be ready for the future? What type of businesses and what type of education and training do you have to have in order to be viable, to take care of yourself and your family in the future? And in this book, scares the bejesus out of you, actually, because the things that they're talking about, it will devastate towns. It will devastate cities. I mean, something as even as abundant as Los Angeles is, when we really stop to think about it and we look around our streets and we have people living in the streets, it can happen to us as well. So none of us are safe. Hey, Mr. Gilbert, none of us are safe. And so we really got to take a look at, what are some of the new businesses we can get into, or you can get into, or new skill sets you can acquire in order to be viable, in the future. And we're talking future as 2025.
Right, like next year.
like next year. Because Elon Musk, I'm talking about the automatic vehicles.
Exactly.
And then the trucks are going to be the first thing to go.
Yes, exactly.
The trucking industry.
Interesting. That's very interesting. I never thought the day would come where the trucking industry disappears like that.
I know, because and that's what I was just saying. When you stop to think about the trucking industry.
Yeah, that's like one of those industries that it's inevitable. You need it for hauling, everything.
And in places, you were in Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
That's a mainstay of a lot of, because you don't have to have an education.
Yes.
You just have to. It's a grueling job.
Yes.
But you don't have to have any specific skill sets other than knowing how to drive.
Just got to know how to drive and know safety, and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
And so for a lot of people who don't go to school, haven't been trained or been taught to do anything differently, and sometimes trucking is a legacy passed down type of career.
That is true. Sometimes you have 2 and 3 generations in the trucking industry.
Yeah.
You've got grandfather, father, and son.
Right. And they own trucks.
Yes.
And this is how they take care of their family.
Oh,
and
yeah.
in the agricultural countries or cities and states, that's how they haul the fruits and the vegetables and their agricultural crops.
I'm thinking we will see reduction in the trucking industry, but there are certain things that it probably will still be there. It will still be around, like for hauling, like farms, for example. The farm community, they need to haul their produce from point A to point B.
Yeah.
So I don't know how soon that might disappear, but it's something to think about.
They were basically saying, when Elon Musk was talking about the high speed, and he's talking about the Tesla being at some point a vehicle that will drive itself.
Yeah.
And they in this book that I was reading last week, and Jackie, she goes, "Oh my God, I read that book and I was scared to death," because the book is called "The War on the Normal People."
Oh, that's the guy, Yang.
Andrew Yang. Mm-hmm. Actually, it makes sense. Mm-hmm. I mean, what he's telling you and talking about, he has statistics.
Yeah.
I mean, this man, if it was an election tomorrow, I would vote for him.
Yeah, I hear you.
Because what he's saying is a fix for what is definitely a broken country. Mm-hmm. But what he does say is, we put all our emphasis in education and higher education and teaching and training people to work for someone else, that they're only equipped to work for someone else.
Yeah.
But those someone else's are going out of business.
That is true.
Right? So, but, teaching our people trades that can create businesses is really our future.
And lucrative trades.
Lucrative trades.
Trades that can really generate decent revenue, so you're self-sustainable.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And then being able to identify what those are. But I mean, some things we have to. I would assume plumbers are not going anywhere but a robot could, I guess. But how could a robot get up underneath?
I know.
Yeah,
underneath your basement.
So you got to find those careers.
Yeah.
In fact, when I was I'm listening to a book on Audible. So guys, get this book, whether you get it to read it or to listen to it. The War on Normal People by Andrew Yang.
Yeah.
So he was saying and I went into the accounting industry primarily because if I was going to work for somebody, that I would always have a job, right? Mm-hmm. But even eventually, that's going away because people really can do with the onset of online bookkeeping and so forth, and really the software does it for you. Mm-hmm. You do have to have, if you're trying to get bank loan ready, you do have to have someone to help you make sure you're posting and setting up your books properly. Mm-hmm. But overall, you can learn that on YouTube.
That's true.
But but ultimately, what he's saying is, you're either going to have some skill sets, because obviously those automatic vehicles are going to have to be repaired by somebody that understands robotics, and I guess someone programming. Coding is not enough.
No,
you have to know the basics of that, and in addition to that, anything that's a digital entrepreneurship type platform.
Yeah.
I mean, those of us like coaching and where people are and they're making big money at is doing teaching online. But my thing is, and we had this conversation with a guest a couple of weeks ago, is, and this is the piece that I don't quite get. For capitalism to exist, they have to be humans that shop and spend money, right?
That's true.
There has to be exchange of a dollar to purchase a good or service. That's capitalism, right?
Got to be buyers and sellers, and got to be demand and supply.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you wipe out, if whole industries change, what happens? Where there is no income, which is what he talks about, the universal basic income, where every American citizen, I think he says from 18 to 80, will receive $1,000 a month. That's his platform.
So that's like a subsistence. It's added to what they're already making.
Right, exactly. Okay. But it already comes in with no strings attached.
Yeah.
And that's going to come from the value added tax. They have that in Europe.
You know what's amazing, Crystal? that philosophy that he's sharing, I've been thinking and talking about a similar approach. So you know how the U.S. government, they give away all these billions of dollars every year to foreign countries.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. So my thing was, why can't we give at least, instead of doing some of that, because we know we need to support some of the foreign countries. We know that.
Right.
But why can't we give $200,000 a year to families? So households, I don't know the exact number of households we have in the U.S., right? Because when I did it, I did calculate it at the time. Why don't we give $200,000 to households like every other year? You see what I'm saying? In order to help sustain our economy. Because if you should give a family, say a family of 2, 3, 4, 5, 200,000, that's a decent amount of money that they can use to either invest, either build something, become entrepreneurs, help to send their kids to college. But that would help us, and we wouldn't have so many homeless people, so many people in poverty.
And I think that's that's some of his philosophy, not the 200,000, but he's thinking so. And from what I've read in his book, that Finland, which is supposed to be the happiest place to live, is because they are truly a completely socialist country. They take care of everything, and they're super happy. Education's taken care of. Health insurance is taken care of.
I want to look it up.
And so one of the pros, and you're probably right, because here's the pros of, let's say, a university basic income, right? And it says workers could afford to wait for a better job or better wages. So that's why his magic number was $1,000 per family, thinking that's a supplement, it's not enough to live on. Right. But let's say you start every month with $1,000 on top of what you do.
What you're generating yourself.
Let's say what is the average income for families is...
family of how many? 4?
Let's say a family of 4. What is an average income? About 55?
About
maybe
40,000 or so, yeah.
Okay,
45.
so you add on an additional 12,000 a year.
So that's 52.
52.
Yeah.
But that 1,000 would not be taxed. So your other would be taxed, but that 1,000 could now provide you with food and other things, and then that would keep the economy stimulating. Okay. And now it makes sense to me, because I always wonder why, like what Obama did it after the recession. They throw out, they give you $1,000. Remember, they gave everybody $1,200. It was a stimulation, and it obviously worked. Right. So I guess that, and I never quite understood what was the formula, what was the algorithm for doing that, and I think that was the algorithm, because you're getting something that obviously is not taxed. You didn't work for it, so it's like getting free money, and I guess it gives you a sense of freedom. And that's what he says. It would help people, give them a freedom to return to school or stay home to care for a relative. Right. At least they'd have $1,000 coming in. If the husband went out to work or the sister went out to work, whatever. There is $1,000 coming in every month. Right. And you don't have to worry about whether somebody, like for us, we don't have to worry about somebody's paying a bill or going after them to pay a bill. That $1,000 is going to come in, so something is going to get paid for. And some households, $1,000, if they don't pay that much for rent and they live a very basic life, $1,000 could be substantial for most low-income individuals.
Yeah, could help in a lot of ways. So I'm checking to see, this thing is taking a while, but I want to see how many U.S. households there are, because then we can multiply that.
Well, let's see how many. So we want to know how many U.S. households.
Yeah.
households in the
United States.
Yeah, and that would be a census information.
Yeah.
And let's say as of 2019.
127.59 million households.
Yeah, 127.59 million households.
Okay. So if we didn't do 200,000, let's say we did 100,000, all right? Mm-hmm. And calculate and see how many billions that would be.
So that would be your...
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we know we're giving billions to foreign countries. And what do we get out of it? What are we getting from these foreign countries? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So instead of giving it to them, why don't we give it to our own people and try to build our own people? Because, see, once you start building families and households, then people are going to be able to be self-sufficient. They're going to be able to pay into the tax system, and the government is getting their money back. But when they pay this to many of those foreign countries, what do they get back?
Right. You don't get anything back, but what you get is what we have today.
Yeah.
You have angry Americans who can't find their way because there's never enough. You're having, and I wrote a blog about this a couple of weeks ago, that poverty is actually is humiliating.
Yes, it is.
Right?
It is.
Because you're always living in a place of lack. Mm-hmm. And so when you live in a place of lack, it creates depression, desperation. In fact, in this book that I was reading this past week, one of the things he said, which just blew me away, that the opiate epidemic is basically in those states where they've lost major industries, the mining industry, farming. Those individuals are, they put them on, they go on disability because if they looks like their job is gonna go away, then they go on state disability. Right. And in some cities, in some states, it was someplace in Philadelphia, Youngstown, Ohio, the whole entire darn city is on disability. Yeah, wow. And so, and they become hooked on opiates, on Oxycodone or Vicodin, and then of course that becomes more difficult to get because they've regulated that so much that now they've gone after another drug, and that drug would be heroin, and that more white people, young white people and low-income white people are dying from an opiate. In some cases, whole families are being wiped out. Wow. And that heroin is one of those drugs that in order to get off of it, you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to get off of it.
So it's like an epidemic.
It's an epidemic. That's what they say. It's an epidemic. Yeah. And the only reason it's not affecting us is because the one time our skin color has benefited us is that if you come in as a black person and say you're in pain, they recommend Tylenol for you. They don't subscribe opiates to you.
They don't give you the high level stuff.
So we haven't become addicted. It was a news commentator said, for once my black skin was beneficial because we're not losing thousands and millions of people.
Oh, that is hilarious.
Isn't that hilarious? So the one time it affected it worked for us.
That is hilarious.
But they were saying, so poverty is just one of those things that
they used to control us.
Right. And then when you look at third world countries, which, if we lose the industries and they all become automated, we could become an India. Where they're in South Africa, where people are living in shanties and there are no support, no governmental support, no nothing. Wow. And that perpetuates crime.
For sure.
All kinds of things go on. Yeah. And illness. And so, and that was why, as I said, if the election was tomorrow, I'd be voting for Andrew because and the statistics that he backs up his...
See, that's the thing. He's got supporting data.
He got supporting data, and it's like, whoa, man.
It's got supporting data. See, a lot of these other guys, they talk about stuff and there's no supporting data. So you're going, okay, where are they getting this information from?
Yeah, it seems like it's very far-fetched, right? It's like out there, like intangible stuff that you can't touch, fairyland.
It's like, how do they know that this is tested and proven,
Right.
How do we know it could work?
Yeah, and I guess he said he found this out because one, he started several businesses, and he said that his first business failed, and he understood why. And then his second business, he then I think he got into technology. He got into the technology world, and then of course he started making money in there. And then he sold a business, but he actually is a venture he has a venture business, equity business, and so he started going around the country to help startup businesses with. Either your startup or you were a business that needed to grow, and he got in there with them, not with the concept or the strategy to take them over. He got in there with the strategy to help them. I
like him already, and I don't even know him.
Right.
Because that's my philosophy too.
Right.
See what I'm saying? I like helping small businesses. So even if I don't get anything out of it, I like it.
Right.
And it sounds like that's what he's been doing.
Oh, yeah. And you would love his book.
Oh, yeah.
Because he talks about what we talk about. And one of the things he talks about is creating abundant opportunities as opposed to creating businesses. Yeah. Create opportunities that can perpetually, create multiple streams of income, but from sources that will not be disrupted by other individuals that don't really think about the human capital.
It's called the war on normal people.
The war on normal people, and his definition of normal people are people who no college or less than 2 years of college, limited skills. That would be those individuals working in retail. Manual labor jobs, trucking industry, some medical staff, that doesn't have degrees. Yeah. That's what he calls normal people. And then he says the people that are working in technology, they're actually living in a bubble because they're very well insulated. They're highly skilled, and they create those abundant opportunities for themselves. I mean, they will create businesses and they're creating those businesses with the idea to sell them to somebody else.
Right.
And which is what happens. I mean, look at all the companies. Look at Snapchat. Snapchat was around 1 year before Instagram. Yeah. I mean, he actually got that business up to a place where Facebook was interested in buying it. Became a millionaire or billionaire overnight. Yeah. And so that's how and that's the kind of business. That's how he's helping businesses is to take them. Create a business that is ready to be sold, that can then be your jumping off. But at the same time, you're creating millions of dollars for yourself and your family.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so
that's beautiful.
We're at the 30 minutes in, so we can take a break and come back and talk about this.
I didn't see that. I'm just getting so enthralled with this conversation.
And we'll talk more about him and some other things. He also has a book called Smart People Need to Be Building Things.
Oh, yeah? I got to check it out, too. You're on the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. Take a break.
Small businesses spend more than $500 million each year combined trying to find missing or replace missing paperwork. Hey, small businesses, are you tired of losing out on business opportunities because your paperwork is not in order? And don't you hate having to register in multiple websites just to find a single procurement opportunity that may not even be worth your time? Well, worry no more. Small Biz Pro is the solution to your problems. Small Biz Pro is an all-in-one cloud-based business management, compliance, and procurement assistance software platform that keeps small businesses organized, contract-ready, bank loan-ready, with quick access to procurement opportunities, as well as market research data. Here are some of the features and benefits that you receive when you use Small Biz Pro to run your business daily. Superior record keeping at your fingertips, back office management and compliance, quick access to bids and procurement opportunities in government databases. It allows you to conduct easy market research and gather industry statistics, government certification preparedness and compliance checklists, easy HR and general operations management functionality, bank loan readiness preparation and cash flow management, certified payroll and labor compliance reporting, business dictionary with defined business terms, a cloud-based business management platform that keeps small businesses organized and ready, even nonprofits, business documents securely stored in the cloud, data fully encrypted and protected by triple firewall reinforcements, on-the-spot document retrieval for quick decision-making, bank-level data security for compliance, document expiration alerts and advanced notifications. It uses security restrictions to block out unauthorized users, and much more. Try it out today for only $5 for the first 30 days. What are you waiting for? Go to www.smallbizpro.net and register now, or your competitors will. Small Biz Pro, keeping small businesses organized, business ready, and contract ready. Subcontractors and small businesses are very good at performing their craft. But when it comes to managing their paperwork and efficiently running their business, not so much. That is why Buchanan & Associates, a multiple award-winning supplier diversity business management, technical support, coaching, and compliance firm is here to help you. Buchanan & Associates possesses core competencies in small business paperwork and government compliance, back office management and business support, business infrastructure and organizational development, light rail transportation program management, assisting small businesses in packaging and submitting their minority, woman-owned, and disadvantaged business enterprise certifications. We even match you up with contract opportunities. Buchanan & Associates has delivered more than 7,500 hours of training to subcontractors by preparing them to become business-ready, contract-ready, and bank loan-ready with the ability to quickly access key documents in seconds. Buchanan & Associates helps subcontractors accurately prepare, manage, and submit certified payroll, contract compliance, and labor compliance reports to primes so that they can get paid on time without delays. If you need to meet your disadvantaged business or small business enterprise participation goals, Buchanan & Associates can help you. If you need a qualified and experienced firm to oversee your subcontractors so that you can successfully complete your projects, Buchanan & Associates can help you. We help all businesses organize and set up their company the right way so that they can formally pursue contracts. Buchanan & Associates has assisted subcontractors and primes secure more than $90 million in contract awards. What are you waiting for? Contact Buchanan & Associates today, the small business paramedic. Go to www.thebuchanangroup.net and begin saving now.
And we are back with the Business Zone with Christo
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic.
So when we were on break, Gilbert and I were just kind of laughing and chuckling that, remember, guys, when you first got out of college and maybe you had your burger frying, you work at a burger joint, or but after a while you changed jobs too many times and you'd have to explain why you were changing jobs. Why weren't you on your job for 10, 15 years?
Yeah, exactly. See, back in the day, it was very important for people to be in jobs for, 10, 15 years or more because it shows stability.
Right.
And today, if you're in a job for 2.5 years or so,
like, what the heck is wrong with you?
That's like too long.
That's too long. A year and a half is too long.
Yes.
You are not valuable to us. If you've been with a job for 5 years.
Yeah.
You're a dinosaur.
Yeah, you're a dinosaur. Now we need to retrain you. You need to learn a lot of new things.
and so those are the things when we think about it. And in fact, yesterday, I'm getting ready to start teaching the Biz Camp. Starting on Monday, right?
Yeah.
So we are leasing or we're renting space at one of the local charter schools. Uh-huh. So one of the criteria was you had to have a TB shot.
Oh.
A TB test.
Yeah.
So, I'm not a doctor person. I go for my stuff and that's it. I'm not one that go every week, month or whatever. I do my preventative care and that's it. Yeah. And I have no reason to have a TB shot. I don't work with children but once a year. Yeah. So I'm thinking, where the heck am I going to get a TB shot? Yeah. So I went searching and actually one of the young ladies, we were doing our digital marketing class, and we have our Zoom meetings every week, and we were doing it, and so we were saying, we were looking at some things that somebody would have actually Googled recently. And so I said, TB test. I need a TB test. Yeah. And so one girl, go down to CVS, and CVS has, they call them the minute clinics.
Wow.
You can go down there for everything.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Minute clinic.
Right. So you go in and sign up. You can either pay. They have like a menu of prices. Wow. So you could go for a physical for $99, between $99 and $129.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
You can get your TB test. You can get vaccinations if you need them. You can get your blood pressures checked. You can get your diabetes, your sugar levels checked.
And that physical is just like going to your own doctor.
Like going to your own doctor. It's an actual, I don't know if I think she's a nurse practitioner. So if it's anything serious, they'll send you out. They do minor injuries.
In a strange kind of way, I kind of like that.
When I got there, I'm thinking, who goes to these things? It's like going to the eye doctor. Yeah, exactly. Right? So I go to Costco and I go get my eyes because, my contacts, I've been wearing them for the same prescription for the last 5-10 years. Yeah. But by law, you got to go in order to get new lenses, right? So it's like that. So when I get there, there's a line of people. It was like an hour and a half wait. I went, whoa.
So the minute clinic turned into an hour clinic.
But they're churning them out.
Wow.
You're in and out in about 18 minutes.
That is unbelievable.
So she did my test. Yeah. And it cost me to get the test, to get the first, it was $35. And then for them to read it. So it's going to be about $74, which I'm going to bill back to the people that made me have it.
Like I say, it's a weird thing, but I kind of like it because you don't have to. Because with your HMO, you got to make an appointment months in advance, Yeah.
And then they got to approve everything. Yeah, they got to approve it. So if you just if you're a healthy individual, then you just want to go in and make sure everything is in place. You get a code instead of going to and having to pay deductibles.
That's a great concept. Can you imagine if a small business came up with that idea? Because there's a lot of professionals or doctors who, they've got their licenses and everything. They could just set up a little shop and do that and call it the Minute Clinic.
The Minute Clinic. And you just running it through. It's like almost going to back in the day when they had the family, what is it? If you're in a small town, the little doctor do
family doctor.
The family doctor. So this is like the family doctor.
That makes house calls.
So makes house calls. Well, in this case, you go to CVS. Makes sense because the pharmacy is right there, right?
Yes. And then it's another way for them to get people in to purchase other stuff.
Right, because you're waiting an hour. Yeah. And that's what I told to the lady. I said, well, let me see. I could go eat.
Yeah. So I could get a card because it's my sister's birthday.
Right. So it's like, well, I'll just wander the halls, wander the aisles, and pick up a little few things. Wow. And then when they call my name, they tell you. Yeah. Even better yet. Yeah. They text you 30 minutes before they call you. Oh, wow. So that you can start meandering back into the area so you'll be on time for your appointment.
Man. That's a great concept. So that's one of those businesses that you found in there.
Right. So this one, they said family practitioners and general practitioners, but This is one of those a la carte.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to urgent care. You don't have to wait for months and years to get in. You're like, oh wait, I'm here at CVS.
Yeah.
I got to get my medicine refilled anyway.
Right.
So let me just have them check my blood pressure.
Wow.
And do that.
That's genius, man. That's genius. That's what we got to do with our business, you know.
Yeah, make them easy, convenient.
Yeah.
Convenient. That makes one. So that's one of the. So your standard businesses that obviously you can't do away with doctors. Anybody that's got a degree and they have to have a certain level of skill, experience, and practice. Obviously, doctors and dentists, although dentistry has become, it's becoming more finite. I think businesses have added on things to get you in, teeth whiteners, more cosmetic, more things that would be on your choice, but they will get you in because dentists can be really expensive. But here's one, and this one kind of falls into your area, to the certification, being a plumber or a pipe fitter or a steam fitter, because no matter those, if they're building buildings, they're going to have plumbing.
Right.
Because water's got to run in through and do whatever. So, but you could create a business out of that. You don't have to necessarily work for somebody.
Right.
And you could do that with a high school diploma. Here is practical licensed vocational nurses. So this is the Minute Clinic. So those are. She wasn't. She was a vocational. I don't think she wasn't a doctor.
It probably was an RN. Huh?
I think she was an RN, maybe. What are those called? Those
LPNs?
Not LPNs. There's actually a name for them. They are. I'll come up with it.
Not home health aide, right?
No, not a home health aide. They are like a medical assistant or a physician assistant. That's what they are. So those won't change. Construction, I don't think is going to ever change because you're going to always get to a place where the old, like what's going on in most cities, the old construction eventually has to be knocked down. Modernization. So back to traditional type of businesses or careers that doesn't take. Although this is interesting, a construction manager does have to have a bachelor's degree. Physician assistant. Now,
but see, the specialty trade contractors, though, they don't need degrees or anything like that. All they need to do is take that license, like a plumber, like you say, a plumber, the guy who hauls stuff, construction cleanup guys, those guys, they don't need a degree.
Right.
They can just, you can just have an average person or a normal person.
Right.
Do that.
Now, what about, I wonder if teachers could be eventually, because it'd be robotics and artificial intelligence.
I can see the AI providing that kind of service, but when it comes to learning, learning is a different animal because you have the spatial learning. You got that artificial intelligence learning, but you also have spatial learning where people learn differently. Some people, you can teach them in a spatial kind of way. You can teach them by doing things, giving them example, teaching them by example, in a whole lot of different ways. So that way, and then again, teaching depends on the style of the person. Because I could have a PhD and I could be brilliant, but my people skills are just not there. And I'm trying to teach you and I'm just robotic and, you can't get me because it's like we're not connecting.
No, you got to have, because I know with me as a teacher, I'm like a more nurturing type of teacher. But I use life experiences.
Exactly.
That's how I think I get people to retain information better if I'm associating the theory with a life experience.
Right. And see, the robots can't do that because they don't have life experience. They don't have life experience. What are they going to say? I remember when I was in high school. Come on.
But look at Alexa and Siri.
Yeah, but see, that's a typical example. There's a commercial on right now. I don't remember which one, but they were talking about beers, right?
Okay.
You have Alexa, Siri, and all three of them there. They're talking about beers. So the person said, "What is a bar?" And say, "Well, a bar is a place where we serve beer and stuff like that, right?" And then one of them give a definition that really didn't make sense to the situation.
Right.
So that's an example of what we're talking about. See, in your life experience, you could say, for example, if you drink this or if you do, you
right,
see what
exactly.
I'm saying?
They don't have the they don't have the
that
the taste. They can't say, why would you choose Miller over draft over imported beers? You actually have to have. Yeah. So those kind of businesses, I guess, would still.
Yeah.
Yeah. I even think, even though he's talking about retail, there are certain retail experiences that will inspire you to purchase.
Right. And another thing is, like you may go to down here on Los Angeles Street. I don't know what they call that again.
The shopping district?
Down there, right? Uh-huh. And a person say, hey, buy two, you get one free or whatever. The robot is not going to do that because the robot is designed to make profit. So the robot is going to say, hey, we can sell you 3 of these for this or 3 of that. And then with the personal person, that person can say, okay, I take $5 off. They have the flexibility
so they don't have the flexibility to negotiate,
they can't negotiate,
right?
No.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
See,
to
we
see
have
that they like looking at you going, yeah, you want to do this, but let me figure out what's your point.
Yes.
That we can negotiate, and then by that point you're like, yeah, I got this, I'll do this.
Or when the person comes in, you can just read their face and their body language, or look at the kid crying or saying whatever, and kind of see that the kid really wants it, and the kid is going to convince the person. So therefore, you entice them by saying, okay, I'll do this for you if you do this.
Right.
Robot can't do that.
Yeah, no, a robot couldn't do that. In fact, that's what Andrew Yang said, that it's kind of, how do you balance that, right?
Yeah.
You become, so he says in some retail stores, your customer service is being farmed out to the Philippines. Mm-hmm. He says, but in some cases, they have gotten it so finite that you don't know when they switch you over to the person in the Philippines. They're working on their technology to, if you do ask a question, and there's certain trigger questions that you will ask that they then have to bring you back in to the human person, right? Because they'll say, I'm going to take you up to that next level. Right, so I always ask, just give me to level C. Yes. Let me skip all them other levels because I need to talk to the level C person, right?
Exactly.
And I think if we're looking in the future, based upon what you just said, customer service on a higher, like, what do they call that? Concierge type of customer service will make you as a business stand out to this level, right?
It will. It definitely will. And I know robots are programmed to provide some level of customer service, but that next level customer service, they can't. That's what we do.
Yeah.
That's what we do. That's a difference between us and those robots.
Yeah. And then, obviously, now they say here, which there are people, and I think I saw it this week on Google in the news feed, that, and I'm one of those, that you have your supermarkets, and I think we talked about this. You have your supermarkets that have the automatic teller, the teller, the checkouts, right? So unless I'm in a super hurry, then that's the only reason I'll use those, because in my, and this is how people, and it is very true, if I become dependent on just going through that fast checkout, then there's going to be somebody that's going to lose a job.
Yeah.
Right.
And another thing with that I was watching on the news, and I'm going, wow, that is true, because I've been through it. This lady went to Target and she bought some items. Right. The total amount of the item should have come to $40.75, but instead on her receipt it says $49.75. So she took it back. And she said, hey, this is not supposed to be $49. It's supposed to be $40. Oh, no, you made a mistake, ma'am. You know, check it. She said, I checked it 3 times. And they keep going back and forth. Mm-hmm. The point I'm trying to make is some of those machines, those checkout machines, several things. One, they're designed to mark up the price sometimes. You see what I'm saying?
You wouldn't even know
you won't know because you're in a hurry. You're checking out real fast. You see what I'm saying? So after you leave, you may see it, but because, you know, you may live far away, you go, I'm not even going to be bothered. So that's another way for them to make money off the consumers. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
As opposed to working with the live person, and you may catch it and say, hey, this thing is too much, and the person, oh yeah, you're right, or yeah, maybe it was on sale. I noticed when I go to Smart and Finals, that has happened to me 5 times, 5 times, and I'm putting them on blast right now.
What did they do to you?
So I went to go buy some shrimp.
Okay.
And in the freezer it says $13.99 for the medium size shrimp. Because I made sure I take my phone, I take a picture. Just to make sure I didn't make a mistake, right? So when I go to check it out, it says $19.99. I'm going, no, it's supposed to be $13.99. Sir, you're mistaken. No. Here's my picture, and here's a tag, and here's a barcode right here. Same thing. It says this one is for $13.99. Well, okay, let me go check. So now you're holding up the line. I said, no, you go check. So she went and she checked, and she said, oh, I'm so sorry. It is on special, but they didn't adjust it in the system.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
But if you're a robot, they're not going to. I mean, the automatic machine is not going to correct it. They're not going to walk away and go check on the file. Yeah. And computers do make mistakes.
Oh, for sure.
And computers get hacked into. A lot of things happen with computers.
Right.
I mean, they've always been that case.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's very true.
Right.
I'm looking here, and this is at artificial intelligence at a glance in 2018. So that, a couple last year. So it said at that time, just 15% of the organizations use AI today. By next year, it will be the number will be like 31%.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So I think we, especially with Amazon, I do know. And it's happening with you not even knowing it, right? So, we all love Google, and I think that's the best search engine in the entire world. But there are times when it makes you a little nervous, right? So there was a T-shirt that popped up in my Facebook feed, and it had my name, it said Crystal, and then it had all these attributes that was me. And it was in my feed.
And you're going, how the heck did they know that?
I mean, it was me too. And I actually bought the shirt because it was me.
Oh, my Lord.
And I'm going, but again, obviously I post a lot on Facebook, and I do a lot of, not just posting, I do a lot of commentary. And so I guess just based upon how I respond to certain things, they understood how so let me see if I can find the shirt. And I'll tell you, I think it's called See Amy.
So they're saying, okay, Crystal is involved in this. Crystal make these types of comments. Crystal is a supporter of this. Therefore, it's very likely that Crystal would like this, or she will say this, or she'll do this, or she'll become a part of this.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So it was to me. I'm gonna see if I can find the thing. Let me see, because I just got the shirt, and in fact I had it on the other day, and this lady said, my husband saw a shirt like that, and whatever his name was, and the only thing on the shirt that probably wasn't me was it said that I don't speak my mind. Well, we all know that that's not the case. No, in fact, I had worn it with Rhonda, and she goes, that line right there, not you. But everything else.
Actually, that was for the white Crystal.
That wasn't the me Crystal.
Yeah, that wasn't the you Crystal.
Loretta, how are you? Yeah, that wasn't me. But I have to find when we go to break. I'll see if I can find it. But it was so me, and so I had to have it. Right?
See, that's a great marketing strategy, though. Man.
So that was AI at its best, right? Because it saw from all the posts and all my interaction on the internet and things that I'm interested in.
Wow.
It popped up on Facebook with my name. And I think it's I'm trying to find it.
So it utilized the things that you associate with to create a persona.
Yes.
And they thought that persona should be called Crystal.
Yeah.
So that's why they did that, and then trying to sell it to you.
Right.
Which worked. Because,
it worked. It said things like having intolerance for stupid people.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
It just, everything. And when I find it, the clothes, I can't remember the name of the. Let me see. I think it was called See Amy Clothing or something I ordered just recently.
That's amazing.
It was amazing. So that would be AI at its best.
That is amazing.
We want to go take another break.
Yeah, I think we should go ahead and take a break. Then when we come back, we can delve into some more.
See if I can find this T-shirt, huh? Yeah, I have it in because I got when it was shipped to me.
So you're on the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. Take a break.
Subcontractors and small businesses are very good at performing their craft. But when it comes to managing their paperwork and efficiently running their business, not so much. That is why Buchanan & Associates, a multiple award-winning supplier diversity business management, technical support, coaching, and compliance firm is here to help you. Buchanan & Associates possesses core competencies in small business paperwork and government compliance, back office management and business support, business infrastructure and organizational development, light rail transportation program management, assisting small businesses in packaging and submitting their minority, woman-owned, and disadvantaged business enterprise certifications. We even match you up with contract opportunities. Buchanan & Associates has delivered more than 7,500 hours of training to subcontractors by preparing them to become business-ready, contract-ready, and bank loan-ready with the ability to quickly access key documents in seconds. Buchanan & Associates helps subcontractors accurately prepare, manage, and submit certified payroll, contract compliance, and labor compliance reports to primes so that they can get paid on time without delays. If you need to meet your disadvantaged business or small business enterprise participation goals, Buchanan & Associates can help you. If you need a qualified and experienced firm to oversee your subcontractors so that you can successfully complete your projects, Buchanan & Associates can help you. We help all businesses organize and set up their company the right way so that they can formally pursue contracts. Buchanan & Associates has assisted subcontractors and primes secure more than $90 million in contract awards. What are you waiting for? Contact Buchanan & Associates today, the small business paramedic. Go to www.thebuchanangroup.net and begin saving now. Small businesses spend more than $500 million each year combined trying to find missing or replace missing paperwork. Hey small businesses, are you tired of losing out on business opportunities because your paperwork is not in order? And don't you hate having to register in multiple websites just to find a single procurement opportunity that may not even be worth your time? Well, worry no more. Small Biz Pro is the solution to your problems. Small Biz Pro is an all-in-one cloud-based business management, compliance, and procurement assistance software platform that keeps small businesses organized, contract-ready, bank loan-ready, with quick access to procurement opportunities, as well as market research data. Here are some of the features and benefits that you receive when you use Small Biz Pro to run your business daily. Superior record keeping at your fingertips, back office management and compliance, quick access to bids and procurement opportunities in government databases, It allows you to conduct easy market research and gather industry statistics. Government certification preparedness and compliance checklists. Easy HR and general operations management functionality. Bank loan readiness preparation and cash flow management. Certified payroll and labor compliance reporting. Business dictionary with defined business terms. A cloud-based business management platform that keeps small businesses organized and ready. Even nonprofits. Business documents securely stored in the cloud. Data fully encrypted and protected by triple firewall reinforcements. On-the-spot document retrieval for quick decision-making. Bank-level data security for compliance. Document expiration alerts and advanced notifications. It uses security restrictions to block out.
So we're back on the Business Zone, and Crystal and I, we're having a blast here. We're going over some AI stuff, and we're looking at how we can assess or
how could you create some artificial intelligence in your own business? Yeah, how do you know? And those are your best salespeople.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some people that were born to sell. They could sell you the Brooklyn Bridge.
They
if you
can
lived in Florida, right?
Yes.
But that's a skill set.
That's a very special skill set.
Yeah. That's understanding their customer and all of its, as we say with the children, I'm gearing up for Biz Camp, so we're going to go into the marketing section of that in the besides just the gender and age and so forth and so on. You got to understand the psychodynamics of your potential a customer.
Right.
What makes them want to buy.
And you got to know a little bit about, not a little bit, a lot about their business too. So when you give your analysis of them and their business, then they'll go, wow, how did you know that? And want to do business with you. So it's one of those skills that you can learn. If it's not innate to you, you can learn that skill.
Yeah. You can learn that skill, and I think that would be a valuable skill set. Actually, that's not a bad thing. That would be one of those businesses you could do your courses online.
Yeah.
Because you would come up with different. Start with your personality test,
exactly,
right? And then really build on that. Give them examples of what that person would look like in real life. Yeah. What would that customer look like?
That's amazing. And in marketing, they have a thing that they call personas. Persona is what you develop in order to identify a certain individual or certain entity or someone that you can identify with that can help to promote your business. So in working with your customers and trying to figure out their likes, their dislikes, and be able to tell them that based on intelligence that you gather from having a conversation with them or having a meeting or reading something about them, this is a great skill, man. That's tremendous.
Yeah, and I would imagine in order to program, if you're looking at, let's say how they took when they moved customer service and outsourced it to India. So what they did was created schools where they taught them how to communicate with Americans.
Yeah.
And so, of course, the first thing they're going to ask you is they're going to have an American name.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So that you would be able to feel like you can
identify with them.
Identify with somebody.
Yeah.
That and then they talk about the weather.
Right.
How many times has somebody talked to you about the weather?
Right. And you know what's amazing? When I call DirecTV or AT&T or one of those, and I get this foreign person, with an accent, and they tell me their name, which sounds like a foreign name, they say, "Don't worry about that. You can just call me Ben." See what I'm saying? You can call me Ben. So now you go, "Oh, okay, all right, Ben." So now you're calling this person Ben, and you just lowered your guard right there. You see what I'm saying? As opposed to, you being all defensive and upset with the fact that you have to talk to this foreign person.
Right, exactly. Oh, hi, Ben. How you doing, right?
Yeah, and you're saying, "Oh, Ben, so what do you think about this?" "Oh, not a problem." And he's all funny and talking to you in a nice kind of way. So now you're lowering your defenses.
Right, exactly. And then, but now I do know that they had to bring in that second layer of bring the customer service back to the United States, because what you were saying earlier, what robotics and artificial intelligence cannot do is upsell.
That's true. That is true.
And so when you look at, say, the telephone, when you call Verizon or you call any of your cell phone services, what's the first question after they finish servicing you? They always say, we have these offers.
Yes.
And do you have DirecTV? We have a 5-year plan. Well, let me take a look at and then let me see if I can upgrade you.
Yes.
Well, you got to be able to know who to say that to,
exactly.
right?
Exactly.
So that can't be artificial. That's when you know that you've been brought back over to a human person.
And if you're dealing with a robot and you're very upset with that robot, there's no way after the end of that conversation, the robot says, so let me see if I can upsell you. So, this is just not going to work.
Do you have digital?
Yeah. Do you have DirecTV? It's like, please.
After they curse you out, slam the phone in your ear. I don't think you're going to go any further than that.
That is hilarious.
But though that is our future in some aspect. And so now figuring out how we work that into our own businesses, I think, is a way to combat that. Yeah. It doesn't necessarily, you may not have the thousands and thousands of dollars to create a whole artificial intelligence using billions of dollars to make that happen. But I think you could use some aspect of that in order to enhance the business that you are doing.
Yeah. And, that's one of the things that, some people, it may seem simple and they don't pay attention to it. But that's one of the reasons why when you meet with someone or you're talking to them on the phone for the first time, say, how was your day? How are you doing? Oh, how was your weekend? Did you spend time with the dog? And by you giving them answers to that, then they're building their little profile back there. They go, okay, they got a dog. They like playing with the dog.
Right, exactly.
Next thing you know, they're trying to sell you dog food after the conversation.
Right, exactly. You like dog food. Right. But that's how and that's really what customer service is. And so, a lot of times when, when you and somebody posted this on Facebook is what are some of the problems that individuals have with shopping at Black-owned or Black businesses, and of course customer service always comes up.
Oh yeah,
and customer service is really not a difficult thing to excel at.
It's not at all. It's not. All you got to do is just imagine that you're selling yourself a service. That's it. Trying to sell yourself something.
Right. I look for the same service, and when I don't get it, but when people go out of their way, my uncle's in the hospital, right? Mm-hmm. And so in his journey this last month that we've probably been on every floor at Southern California Hospital.
Oh my
God. When he was in CCU or ICU, nurses were just excellent. We chit-chatted. They were taking really good care of him this round, but, we had to do some yelling in order for all this to take place. But once they did engage and saw us as human beings, because I think there's a thing, and you tell me if you think, I think there's a thing that's going on, an undercurrent that if people keep a distance from you, they don't get emotionally connected to you.
That's true.
And therefore, it's easy to say no to someone that you're not. And if you purposely make sure they're standing over here and you're standing over here and you never give them eye contact or you never engage with them, in any kind of conversation, then you can have this cold exterior and deliver that kind of service, right?
Basic service,
just surface shallow, go through the motions kind of service, right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's sometime of what's happening. So the healthcare industry could be one of those.
Oh, for sure.
Because doctoring has changed so much from when we were children. I remember my family practitioner, we would sit down and he always said, I don't treat the illness. I don't treat the symptoms. I treat the root cause. And he would sit there, and we love Dr. Hubbard. He would draw a diagram on the tissue paper and explain to you how you got to here, and he's going to give you the medication, and this is what the medication is going to do.
Right.
And we never ever had to come back for a second visit because he treated the actual cause and not the symptom of the illness.
So he was probably losing money there.
But he had a clientele. Yeah, you weren't coming back. He'd give you free medication. But he had tons. He did his in quantity.
Yeah.
He just brought in new, and everybody loved him. But you went in when you went in. So that was one of the things I've noticed when he first went in the hospital. Right. There was really, nurses were no eye contact because they just figuring he's elderly, he's coming in, he's going to be in and out, and we're not even going to connect with him, right?
Plus, they're looking at, hey, if I don't connect with him, then I could ask him for his insurance card, and I won't have any difficulties.
And when it's time to tell him he has to get out,
exactly.
I don't have nothing emotional.
I won't have any connection with him.
And I had to keep talking. I had to make my hey Marjorie, Leslie. I had to make my uncle human to them.
Yeah.
And when he went in the second time, when he went into ICU a week or so ago, or 10 days ago, something I was saying that finally made him human. And when they made him human, they're like, no, we're not letting him go until we get him well. I really like Mr. Mitchell, and he would be smiling even in his illness.
Yeah.
And so much so they took care of him. They're like, boy, we hate to see him go, but we're going to step him down. And when I went to the step down, the nurses over there were phenomenal.
That's good.
Then when they moved into another floor, it was so good that yesterday I went and got thank you cards for each one of the nurses.
That's good.
And the last nurse she was going, oh, I got him. And to the point, I was knowing all the nurses and the shifts, and they kept moving up and down the floor. And they would call me in, and when I get there, oh, he's doing good, Crystal. And we're getting there. We're getting there. We're giving him this. And I came in yesterday, and they had lotioned up and oiled up his hands and his face. And I'm like, but I had to make him human.
Yeah. Yeah. It works. It works. Once you're able to do those types of things, it works.
Right.
Yeah.
So for our business owners, basically, you have to make your customers feel like they have value and that you are pleased that they're shopping with you. That is not just you're just one of a number.
Yeah.
It's very important to me on a customer service base that don't lump me in with a whole bunch of people.
Right.
There are a lot of banks that I would not bank with because they want no auto. I don't do machines. I don't want to talk and speaking of the artificial insemination, like B of A has that machine.
Yeah.
And then it's not like you have privacy.
No.
You're sitting there talking to a human being.
People can hear everything.
And everybody can hear. And usually the sound the sound speakers are really, really bad.
Right.
And so you're yelling your private information.
So see, that's it. That's what I'm saying. Somebody could just be standing behind you with a recorder, recording everything. You see what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, that robotic thing, man.
Yeah, but that's where we are. But I think we have to know how to push back on some of the stuff, or demand to have not just we get it. From a dollar standpoint or economic standpoint, their bottom line. But again, I have to keep coming back to, without the consumer, what happens to the capitalist?
Well, his level of financial interest reduces and decreases. because he's not going to be able. If he can create a fair and a situation where you'll get so nervous that you want to spend your money, then he's not going to be making that money.
That's what I say.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what I understand for supply and demand. You need people. But if they're eliminating, again, it's about the elimination of what most businesses feel is the most annoyance is the fact that you have to pay your labor.
Right. Unbelievable, man. I'm telling you. I've looked at what you're talking about, Crystal, for a long time. And, I came to the same conclusion. Customer service is critical, and we can't allow these robots to replace us. We can't. We cannot.
Yeah. But it's coming. It's
coming.
How do I don't even know, and I know this, everybody's always into how far can we take technology?
Yeah.
But when I think about it, would you feel comfortable riding in a car that's being self-driven?
No, not at all. Riding in a car that's self-driven, to me, is like flying in a plane or up there in one of those hot air balloons that you can't control. You see what I'm saying? That's what that is to me. You can't control it, so therefore, it can do whatever it wants to you.
Yeah, because what happens if it malfunctions?
Yeah, exactly.
Cars malfunction.
Yeah.
And you won't even know because you're not at the wheel.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, who knows? Maybe we'll just go through a four-way stop sign, when it malfunctions. I don't know.
But that's what that's obviously one of the big things is being able to and they're even saying the future is that your vehicle will self-drive, drop you off at work, and then go and pick up people like it would do Uber and Lyft without you. Come back.
Oh,
so it's making you money.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Now, in that case,
you might go for it.
Yeah, in that case, I'll go for it. I just don't want to be in there. It can work on
Let somebody else be in there.
Yeah, it can work on its own and get me my money. That's it.
But those are the future. And when we look at our businesses, guys, so basically we're finding humor in this, but really in reality is one of the things. I'm going to be teaching when I start teaching the Biz Camp this week is, that innovative, how do we get our children, because I think entrepreneurship is definitely the answer to a lot of this. And how do we get our children to that place where they're using that creativity to create these innovative ideas? Because when you look at industry over the last 20 years and who would have thought that Facebook would be, a tool that everybody,
that's true.
Around the world.
That is true.
That everybody, you check into that before you check in with your family sometime.
And again, like I said, it's a very simple concept. Those are the ones that are doing major damage because it's a simple concept, but everybody see the need in it.
Yeah. It's that solving a problem.
Right.
Yeah, it's being able to. So what do you think about businesses? Let's say you've been in, and this is a lot of our businesses. Let's say there's a business that's been around for the last 15, 20 years. What would you think they would need to be doing to evaluate how they could become relevant today?
Well, by then, I'm thinking, and this is based on my experience, I'm thinking they're going to be in financial trouble, serious financial trouble by then. So they're going to be searching for any potential opportunities they see.
Right.
Because I was watching this show last night about this bakery.
Okay.
It's a Latino bakery. So, they sell a lot of, sweet pastries, pan dulce, that type of sweet bread, that type of thing. But people weren't coming in and they weren't ordering online. So he brought in his little grandniece.
Okay.
And she came in and she, she's in the social media world.
Okay.
So she said, why don't you combine two of your items and make it into one and give it a name, a merger name. So it's churro. Churro is that stick, that bread
like
stick
churro.
type thing, and it's got sugar on it, right?
Okay,
And then he was selling, another pastry that's like a donut. It looks kind of like a donut, but it wasn't.
Okay.
So she said, why don't you combine the two and call it like a churro nut or something like that?
Oh, they combined the croissant with the donut, right?
Yes.
Whatever they call it, and people love it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's what she suggested to him. And he said, oh, are you crazy? He's saying that, the tradition here, and, he said it in Spanish, I'm going to try to use my Spanish. He
Okay.
Said, Tradición es para siempre. That means tradition is always, it's forever. So you don't change tradition. That's what he's trying to tell her.
Right?
Yeah, he was resistant.
Okay.
So she's like 15, right? So, a little social media queen.
What she do? Go do a quick little survey?
Exactly. But she has she did it, because she has the Snapchat and she has Instagram and all of that. And she put a little thing, like she put the picture of the churro.
Okay.
And then the plus sign and a picture of a donut.
Okay.
And then equal, and then it shows you the end product of the item. And she said, test it and tell me what you think. And people were testing it and they love it. So they were saying, hey, how can we get more of this? So she went to the grandfather to say, hey, granddad, there are people out there showing interest. And he said, no. We don't recognize this. We're not interested in this. Tradición es para siempre. And, her little feelings got hurt because she was all excited thinking she's going to help him to generate more money.
Right, exactly.
Because sales was really down.
Right.
So, she started talking to him some more and showing him proof that people like it. And then before you know it, she said, okay, we'll try it. She said, so what happened to Tradición es para siempre? She said, oh, no, I'm going to ignore this.
Bottom line?
Bottom line, I got to pay my bills. I got to pay my bills. So eventually he started it and the place started getting packed. People are ordering online. People are coming in the store.
Oh, okay.
And then he started seeing that, hey, you know what? I cannot be a dinosaur anymore. I got to change with the times. And the moral of the story is kind of what, with our clients out there, that sometimes you might be running your business a certain way, doing the same thing as usual, doing traditional stuff, and it's not working. It's not paying the bills. And sometimes it helps to look outside of the box, try something else and listen to some of the younger folks out there.
Well, I think that you're so right, because the millennial or the Gen X or the Gen Ys, based upon the fact that they know nothing else but the computer.
Yes.
The traditions for them is the computer, right? And because they don't know anything else. So, their ideas, sometimes it seems like it's like, they're just young and they don't know what they're talking about.
Exactly.
But they have the tools, which is what all businesses should be doing, is testing the temperature of your customers and what their needs are on a regular basis.
And the customers may not be older folks like you. They could be younger folks,
Yeah, they could be, but listen to them, because they're telling you what they need, right? In order for them to be a customer of yours, you need to be able to at least meet them halfway.
Exactly.
And I understand the tradition,
so
you can still have the tradition.
Right.
You can have, but get them in the door with some new innovation.
Yes.
In order to then help to test the waters with the new. One of the things I see, you've been to Portals, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I always marvel. My girlfriend's Cuban, so I always marvel. Like, when I don't care when we go in there.
There's a line around the building.
Wrapped around the building.
Yes.
But when you go in, there's such variety.
Yes.
I mean, they have their staples, because when she goes there, she buys these crackers for her mom and a couple other things. But you see people, the older people coming in to get the traditional stuff, but then you see the younger ones. And I don't care when I've gone there with her, there's lines. There's always a line. But they get them through. And they've opened several locations, but they are following that, right?
Yes.
And they have a lot of young people working for them.
Exactly.
So they must listen to, because a lot of cultures, that's the cultural, just being connected to your culture sometimes mandates you stay in your traditional.
You know what special quality about the employees of Porto's that really, really gets me? That I'm going, how do they do that? When you go to order, the place is packed, right?
Right.
Lots of people in there. So they'll take your order, right? And you may give them 7 items.
Right.
You may say, okay, I want some carrot muffins. I want some churros. I want some quesadillas. I want some strawberry cake or whatever, right? And you tell them I want 5 of that, and I want 4 of that. And after you tell them, they said, okay, I'll read it back to you. They didn't write it down. They didn't write it down. So, and they read back to you exactly what you told them.
And there's like thousands of people in
yes. And I'm going, how do you guys do this? Because, in psychology, they said that if you can remember 4 or 5 consecutive things, then you're very good. But if you were to remember 7, then you're going to have problems. You can't remember 7. It's difficult. Only a genius can remember 7
That's
items.
all they employ.
And remember it in the same order.
Right.
These guys know it. It's like, I'm going, these guys are unbelievable. So I think that's one of the special skills that they require of you to work there.
Yeah.
As an employee.
And the other thing that I've been, that's in Downey. So she only does that when she's in that area.
Yeah.
Because we go to the Downey one. And they remember her. And they remember it's not like she comes every week. She doesn't happen to go every week. They happen to remember her order every time.
I'm talking
Out of
about.
all the people that come, it's like thousands of people.
Right.
And I'm thinking, how do they do that?
They're unbelievable.
They are. And then the third thing is, in their food, because sometimes you go when the food, everything is on display.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't. Theirs look like they had a photographer come in and take pictures.
Yes.
And these are not even real.
Yes.
They're not even real.
Yes.
But they're glistering. They're like, oh yeah, I want that, and that, and that, because they look so good right there. And the lighting is perfect.
Yes.
And it's just catching the image in the right.
That's a special talent, man. Special
Porto's,
talent.
if you guys have never been to Porto's, go. It's a Cuban bakery.
Right.
And I know there's one in
Glendale, there's one in Downey, and I think they're trying to open one in West Covina off the 10 freeway.
Okay.
They should open one in the hood.
Yeah. Well, I think they used to have one in Inglewood.
Oh, really?
I think she used to go over there, but I think they closed that one, and now they're over there.
They want to do that there because I see all that's the one business that I see all ethnicity
Everybody.
support. All ethnicity.
I think usually sometimes, you'll go to a Hispanic or a Latino restaurant, and depending on the food, where it may be Guatemalan, Nicaraguan, or a Salvadorian or Mexican, you don't see all the walks of life, or Cuban, see, right? You don't see all the walks of life coming to support.
Right.
Porto's,
yes.
If you speak Spanish,
yes.
It don't matter where you came from.
It does not matter.
You are at Porto, and then of course you have those of us Americanos that are also in there. But it's absolutely right.
Because I see, a lot of Asians in there. Yes. I see a lot of blacks like me. I see a lot of Caucasian.
Yeah.
I see even Hawaiian people. I see Hawaiian people in there, and I'm going,
how do you even know?
Yeah, how do you guys know
how do you know about Porto's?
Yeah, how do you know about this? They say, I tried it once and it's good. So I keep coming back.
Now there's another, and this is the legacy types that have found the magic or the secret sauce to longevity to be in business. Yeah. So there is a taco place that's in Los Angeles, and it's on Sepulveda and Washington Place. It's called Tito's Tacos.
I think I've heard of it.
Tito's Tacos have been at that same location on that same corner. They were actually closer to Sepulveda at one point, and then they moved back one. And Tito's has been there. I was in line with one guy, and he was in his 60s to 70s. He said it was there when he was a child.
Wow.
Their menu has never changed. They only sell tacos with cheese, and burritos. That's it.
Wow. So how do they keep the people? How do they get new
And it's
people?
not any kind of, it's no like some different kind of Mexican food or tacos that you've had but whatever it is, and people, when you go, I don't care when you go, winter, fall, spring, or summer, the line outside is wrapped around and sometimes wrapped around the corner.
Wow.
On the inside, people are wrapped around the corner. So this weekend I was hungry, and I used to go to Tito's when I worked on the west side.
Yeah.
We would drive from Santa Monica and Westwood and come into Tito's for lunch. And no more. You get chips, you get their salsa. Their salsa is great.
Yeah.
The meat is just like ropa. Like beef is just shredded. Nothing spectacular.
Wow.
Not like street tacos. Nothing. They throw some cheese on it.
Probably isn't expensive then, huh?
Yeah, probably. The contain. They don't even make their own chips. They have them in a big barrel, and they throw you some chips, throw you in your salsa.
Yeah.
And people come there like it's taco crack.
Maybe it
always
is.
Been. And now they did go up. But for years, Tito's tacos only cost like $3.95 for a taco.
Yeah, that's probably
no, $2.90. No, they used to be $1.95.
Yeah.
When I was over there recently, and my bill always came when I worked. It was only like it was $9.95 or no, whatever it was, whatever the pricing worked out to be.
Yeah.
You always got a 50-cent piece.
Yeah.
Every time your change was a 50-cent piece. I don't know,
Really?
so that's how the price always worked out. So they could give you one 50% piece and then whatever else changed. And still today, I got a 50-cent piece when I got over there.
Really?
Yeah, I don't understand. But and so today, I mean, when I went over there, I spent $14. I think I had 3 tacos with cheese.
Yeah.
And I had a medium soda. That was it. So it was $14. So their prices went up to $4.95 per. But it used to be $1.95.
They probably have been doing that for years, and they get the support they can because people are going, hey, I can get lunch or dinner here for less than $9 or whatever.
And like Porto's, it's every walk of life.
Yeah.
Every walk of life you see in line is there. Yeah. So Saturday it was full. It's Gay Pride Week this Saturday, and there was parades everywhere. When I got over there, it was probably about 4:30 because I was leaving the hospital, and I stood in line. Now I stood in line longer than normal usually, and here's the thing: they like Porto's. They have all these little Latino women and men in the back. Yeah. Some of them have been there as long as I've been going there. So I want to say I've been going there over 35 plus years. Wow. Some of the same ladies that were there because you recognize them, and they still there. And they're handling. They don't remember you. They're unlike Portals. They don't remember you. Right. But they're remembering your order, and they get you in and out. I mean, you're in that line no more than 2 minutes, and then you stand on the side, and here come your tacos in your box.
I love it. I love it.
And he literally must make millions of dollars a year.
Sure.
Because he has that same traffic every single day.
I am sure he does.
So those are those traditional businesses. But I think you gotta tap into what your secret sauce is. Yeah. And don't deviate from that secret sauce. Yeah. And whatever other little things that you come up with that will bring the people back, and then of course word of mouth. Because Tito's, he don't advertise nowhere.
Right. He That's just amazing.
And he's not. He used to be on the corner where Lucy's is. Now Lucy is a Mexican restaurant on the corner. Yeah. It don't even have that kind of love.
See, that's what I'd love to do, man. I'd like to find that niche that keeps people coming back.
Yeah, and that not just coming back, but coming back where whenever you drive by, no matter what time of day, there is a long line of individuals that are there for the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's not a tourist. There's Pink's in Santa Monica, but Pink's in Santa Monica. On Santa Monica Boulevard. Nasty hot dogs. But however, they became somehow or another part of Los Angeles' landmark tourist attraction.
Yeah.
And so people hear about Pink's from all over the world. Yeah. And they're like, oh yeah, I went to Pink's. So whenever somebody says I'm coming to California and wherever they're coming from, they always go to Pink's. So, but the hot dog itself, horrible. You'd make a better chili cheese dog yourself at your house out of canned chili. Trust me. But for whatever reason,
so people come for the tradición.
There you go, tradición. There you go. But tradición can help you or it can hurt you.
Or it can hurt you, exactly. See, the thing about tradition is, when you embrace it and you transform with it, then you can make money. You can do good. But if you keep holding on to the old tradition and you don't want to change, then it can seriously
And I think that's what happens like today. So when we're going back to the top of our subject is changing your business to adapt some of the new tradition, some of the new technology can benefit you in a long run, and being resistant to it will make your business outdated and antiquated. And so many of the businesses, and I would think if Blockbuster, if they could do a do-over, they probably would go, you know what, we should create an online version. And I think they did at the end, but it was too late. Because by that time, I think
Netflix had already in the market.
They started with the and there's still people, which this blows me around with Netflix. There are actually still people that have the DVD version. Yeah, I don't even understand that. Why? But there are still people that they get DVDs in the mail.
I know that Redbox is still out there, right?
And the Redbox, I don't even understand. I don't get it. I don't understand. Why do you need to have Redbox?
Redbox is still out there.
Netflix for $9.95. You can have Amazon. Yeah. You can have Hulu. Oh, yeah. You can have whomever. There's new ones out there now.
Yeah.
Right, YouTube. You can watch for $2. And then if you have Amazon Prime, you get free stuff. Yeah. So, and now DVD, like for me, I have Direct TV Home or TV Home. So it's digital. So I have that, and because I have Amazon Prime. And I purchased HBO, but I pay about $45 for my digital. So if I can't find anything on any one of them, I'm hopping all over. I got my DVD, Amazon. I mean, Netflix is like, again, I don't understand Redbox because I can watch, I can indulge on a whole series. Yeah. In one night.
See, Redbox was designed to for a certain niche, right? Okay. Because they say how much you were selling it for, like $1 or something like that.
I don't know. Let's see what is Redbox.
I think now it's like $2.99. I think.
Okay, let me see what their prices are. Because I don't get that.
Yeah. So when they started, they were solving that niche right there. But now that you got streaming all over the place with Netflix, Amazon, and even online, Google, so I think and this is just my perception. I think what they're doing is they're trying to hold on to those tradition people.
Oh, tradition.
Yeah, the tradition. They're holding on to those tradition.
Yeah, I think it's $1 per day for your standard DVD.
Yes.
And I didn't even understand Blu-ray movies. Did you ever understand?
No.
But they do Blu-ray. So
They still do Blu-ray?
They still do Blu-ray.
Oh.
So evidently somebody out there was.
Yeah.
And here's one that I don't get. Video games for $2 a day. Why? I mean, why?
those are for some of the kids who, they probably don't have a lot of great equipment at home to, do the streaming and stuff.
Because even those games are not that expensive anymore, are they?
No, they're not.
No, they still are, but just mostly old school games are like.
Oh, okay.
Like for example, like PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
Nobody plays that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly. In fact, my nephew sold theirs on eBay to somebody.
I think.
Type of games.
I
Actually got an emulator that has all those games. I download all those games and I've been playing with my Xbox.
Yeah, again, so why would you rent a video game for $2? I don't understand. Somebody help me understand why you going to Redbox.
I'd rather just buy a full game for $15 and then call it a day.
I think they're probably designed to help some of those third world countries who don't have the technology.
Oh, so that's a sympathy move. Is that what it is? Because I have not figured, because I come out and you see them, and I see people there.
Yeah,
That's the sad part. I see people when I come out of Ralph, I'm going,
Yeah.
why? And here's even another one antiquated, and
Yeah.
I get the hustle,
Yeah.
but you come outside, and a brother's selling you DVDs, and I'm like, really?
Hey man, this is a movie that just came out yesterday.
I'm going, and I'm looking at it and going, really? You need a new gig, dude. I said, well, first of all, if I go on YouTube, they'll tell me where I can get a pirated videos, and I can see them today. There's numerous, and I got one now that's not even pirated. Numerous where you can see them there in the movie right now. Why would I buy this? And I don't even have a DVD player.
Yeah.
Where would I play it? How would I play it? So, again, tradition.
Tradition.
I don't get it. I don't understand. And that's what I don't get when people don't. They're going to hang on.
They're going to hang on to it.
They hang on. I mean, even people come out and they're still, get my CD.
Yeah.
Okay, why would I get your CD? I'll just turn on Pandora or Spotify.
There's still people out there who probably use VHS.
Some people that still use CD players.
Oh, see?
my CD player in my car holds my phone holder. So I just slide this holder, and that's how I have my phone holder. I haven't played a CD, and I can't even remember who buys them.
This is hilarious.
But those are those businesses that still are hanging on.
Still hanging on. And they know, because we've seen a lot of these businesses. They're making just enough to pay the bills. They don't make a profit. And they're going, hey, just by me doing this, it shows that I'm in business and I can take care of myself. That's it. So an emergency comes up.
Right.
And they got to come up with $400 to $1,000.
And that's one of the things that Andrew Yang talks about.
Yeah.
Is that most Americans don't even have $400. If a $400 emergency came up, that would devastate them.
Wipe them out.
Because they don't have. And sadly enough, I mean, the whole idea, guys, and this is, jokes aside, is that you want to create a business that's doing beyond just sustaining you, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're doing just the sustaining you, you might as well go find a job depending on what you're doing. Now, granted, if that business is outdated, but you need to know how to really take that business to the next level because, you know, people buying VHSs
I'm telling you.
or still using DVD, CD players.
I'm
or
telling you, man.
Blu-ray.
You know, I get this commercial thing every day on my email. Roxio. They're saying, "Do you want to convert from VHS to DVD or whatever?" No.
No, I'm using a digital product now. In fact, most computers don't even have DVD players
they
anymore.
don't.
The new computers do
They
not.
don't.
Everything is downloaded.
Yes, they don't.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, wow.
But there's still people hanging on to
Yes,
the tradition,
tradition.
man. But people really. So when we talk about what the future is going to be, you got to figure out what that new modern future innovation is to your business.
Right.
Now you can still hang on to some of your traditional things, but you got to work your traditional things in a different way.
Yes.
Right.
So that you can reach a wider market and attract new customers.
Right. Exactly. And then you got to sit down and really think about who your customer is, and as we say, create that artificial intelligence within how you are interacting with them and how you're connecting. Because there are still people like to hear you call them. Yeah. There are some people like, you know, you want to chit chat and so that they can get a feel. Yeah. I mean, I think, you know, my following is much because, you know, it's the live piece of it, right? That they do get to see me somewhere where they can see the real me. Yeah. And then when I transition them over to an online platform, they're pleased with that. Yeah. I mean, we did something the other day, Rhonda and I, you know, we normally have for the kids when we're doing the orientations, we have a live orientation, and normally we have 2 of those. So this particular time, I'm not quite sure. Parents were just not really responding quick enough, and we needed, you know, camp is starting Monday, right? Right. So we did a live one. We didn't have a lot of people. We had, you know, enough people. We filled up the training room. But the second one we did online. We did a Zoom.
How many people did you have for that
We had 17 people.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and we gave them, shared the screen, read through the rules and regulations and dress codes and everything, introduced ourselves to the kids. The kids were there with their mom. Good. And we asked them about what kind of business ideas they had. So we engaged, and they were like, oh, we can't wait. We're excited. That's good. And, you know, typing in, we're excited, or when we unmuted him. So that was a new technology. That was a new way to reach the kids. And then so we might incorporate that next year. Like do an online orientation.
I like that.
And our digital marketing class, because we're getting ready to start Biz Camp, we're not going to. It's just too. You know, we're there from 8:30 or from 9 o'clock, or from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You know, it'd be very difficult to come in after teaching. Yeah. And then Bonnie at the Urban League, she'd have to stay there longer. So I'm not going to ask her to do that. And so we're now doing our classes for the next 2 months online. Every Wednesday, I send out the flyer. They have the link. And even if I have a paid class, you know, using, and we talked about Zoom, right? And so Zoom, we can set it up where I can send them where they have to have a password, and I don't send out that password until after they've paid for the class. And then that way they can't still use the same ID because it now has generated a new password for it. And we're going to be investigating. Zoom also gives you the opportunity where you can set up individual rooms. So we can do the intro class in one room, and then either myself or our other partner, Raymond, can be doing, you know, a topic for that. So setting them up in 2 separate rooms and running at the same time. I mean, That's can't get better than that, right?
Is good. That is very good. That's very good.
So taking your traditional business and how you do business, just taking that product and tweaking it so it fits in an innovative place.
Right. Yeah. And see, the thing is with many businesses who they're hooked on tradition, you know, get your grandkids, your kids, or, you know, kids from the neighborhood to give you some feedback. Do like a focus group with them.
like the cheer,
exactly.
Because they tell you what they like.
They tell you what they like, and it was just so unbelievable. And you know, this older guy, he didn't think it would work. He's going, no, that would never work. You know, who does that? You know? and after he started getting that feedback, he's going, oh, wow. And next thing you know, his store is packed with people. And a lot of the people were younger kids, you know, and their parents.
Right, because, you know, they may not, you know, kids, you know, they have different tastes than
they do.
traditionally their parents or their grandparents had. Yeah. It might have worked during that time, and that's fine because that's why you have to, you know, that's how big companies do new innovative products all the time, right? Because they're testing the marketplace and seeing how, you know, people samples of this and saying, you know, look at popcorn now. Popcorn used to just be generic. Now you go into the market, you can get every kind of popcorn.
Gourmet popcorn.
You got your cheddar and your caramel and you got this and you got that.
Oh yeah.
And that's all, you know, that it's testing the market to see what people want.
I noticed KFC, they're trying something new right now. And so they have the biscuit, and you know how when you go to the pastry store, you see that piece of pastry with like a cream thing on it? Oh,
yeah, they got that now?
They got it now on the biscuit. On the biscuit. They put it on the biscuit.
Okay, so it's a sweet biscuit with pastry.
Exactly. So he's saying that, you know, he came up with that because one day he was delivering some chicken to somebody and he tripped and fell. And when he fell, the biscuit got mixed up with that sweet sauce, whatever. So that's why he decided to try it out, and people like it, you know. So tradition, trends start in so many different ways, you know. It could be an accident.
It could be an accident.
I think a lot of trends are accidents.
I think so too. Yeah, or somebody sitting there bored going, I wonder how a croissant and a donut would work together. It's like a hybrid, right?
Exactly.
And then they try it, they give it to somebody, and they're like, we like this. And then it becomes, and then you get the word of mouth, and then it becomes like the next trending item. Yes. And you know the other things that they do, and I think county fairs are good for this. Yeah. Where they do fried everything, right? Yeah. Fried something. What do they have? Twinkies. Yeah. And fried Oreo cookies.
Yeah. That is crazy.
Yeah, they do fried everything at the county fair. But again, in a county fair, you're there for weeks, you know, a couple weeks, a whole month, and you can give it a try and see. And people are looking to find new and crazy stuff, right? So they're bound to try that, and then they go back to probably the stores and the things that they sold the most of. They probably went, let's throw this on the menu. But you're probably right.
So I'm thinking, you know, with us, it's pretty much the same thing too. You know, we could try some new approaches like you're doing right now, you know, with Zoom and some of the other things you're doing. You can try some new approaches to how to get more businesses involved in our process. And who knows, maybe they may want to recommend certain things too. They may say, how about doing this?
And that's probably a good idea, you know, just like the young lady did, you know, just being able to create a survey and see what because I think sometimes, you know, when we start our businesses, we're creating our products and services based on something that we think that our customers need, right? Yeah. But sometimes their needs might be much more unique and they need a different type of mix, right? Yes. In order. I mean, we were surprised when we did the digital marketing. I just know there were people making money. And I was like, okay, let's see. Right. We throw out there's multiple streams of income, and let's see how many people are going to get attracted to it. We have people. There's one young lady that's on our call. She actually has been doing a blog for years, and she never knew that she could make money off of it. And she's in the banking industry. So basically she started her blog just to help her banking customers or people about financial literacy and credit and things like that. But she never knew she could make money. So even though she's been doing this blog for like five years, and then she heard about the class through somebody that was in our class, and she's like, "Oh yeah, we can make some money." So she understands the foundation of blogging, but she just didn't know that you could make money.
It's unbelievable. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. And, we just got to be open to new things and new trends.
Right. And there's always a learning curve. There's a traditional learning curve. But YouTube is the best teacher out there, or find a class. You can, there's so many online classes. And that's truly, I think, that's where I'm going with my class.
Oh, yeah.
And I think you should probably, your first one could be your personality test, because that personality is the way you do it.
Yes.
You could walk people through it. And then on the other side of that, then you get customers based upon that. And the best thing about that is if they're submitting the results, you already know what the trigger points
Exactly.
Right?
I love that. Yes.
You already know, right?
Yes.
So then you'll know which ones will be open to.
That's true.
Yeah, based upon. So that would be, I would do, because you
That
already.
is so true.
Yeah.
And that would be a good way to do customer assessment. You assess the customer and see if this is a good fit for you, before you even start wasting time with them. Wow, I love it.
And whether or not, maybe they're, and it could be different aspects of it, right? Maybe their personality is not the personality that would follow up in certification, but you could gear them or drive them in a different direction. But you would know specifically the ones that would have the personality and the skill sets that would excel in that area. And then all you got to do is stroke the ego with all that wonderful stuff that you just learned about them, right? Like my T-shirt, Crystal.
Exactly. I love it.
Yeah. So
see, every time you and I talk about these things, it's like I get a different perspective on things.
Yeah, because we too, we can get stuck in where we're going and what we're doing.
I love it.
And I think, we have, and sometimes it takes, being able to assess. Look at your skill sets and go, I know that I could be doing so much more because I have so much knowledge, right?
Yeah.
And I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday, and here's the thing: when people don't know you, they think they know you, but they don't know you, right? They're looking at you from the face value. And so I was having a conversation with somebody, and they were making some assumptions, and so. In a kind of condescending way, actually. And then I hit them with, because I was talking about, Andrew Yang and this whole AI thing, and they were saying that, this is from Recycling Black Dollars, whether or not Recycling Black Dollars has, is no longer valid in today's time. And I'm thinking, have they not?
How they arrive at that?
Yeah, had they not read the news? Have they not been on the internet to see that?
I don't think they've been there, because if they did, they wouldn't be saying that. 6 hours, your money stays 6 hours in your community,
right?
And that's
and
okay.
feel that we should have a different narrative now, because nobody really cares.
Really, no one cares.
And I'm thinking, okay, that's kind of interesting. And I thought, wow. And then even to the point of maybe we shouldn't remove the black in the recycling dollars. So then what kind of dollars am I recycling?
You know what I would do? I would turn it around and use a scenario. Like, you see how we're saying the dollar only stays 6 hours? Then we could do healthcare or something like that and say, okay, we're going to make this available to you, but it's only going to be available for 6 hours. And you tell me how you would like to have that.
You better catch your health.
Exactly.
You having a heart attack. You better catch it in this 6 hour period, or dude, you about to die.
You see what I'm saying? I think if it's presented that way, then he's going to go, oh, wow.
Right.
I didn't think of it that way.
Right. And I had to use something like that. I had to kind of equate it to, our children today. That's very important to me. Where and how will our children function in this world if they don't have the right tools and so forth? And that we're sending them to school to and spending hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then they come out and they can't find jobs. So I'm having that conversation, and he's thinking I'm too emotional. It's like, I think there's a time right now is a time to be emotional.
For sure.
Because there's some stuff that's going on in this country that requires you to be hanging off the rafters right now.
Yeah.
We've been too this way, complacent for too long.
It's unbelievable.
And so, but when you talk about people's children, I think that really connects. And so that was a question. I was like, your children college graduates?
Yeah.
And so, what they doing now? And then we went, well, they're not practicing in what they went to school for. So you probably spent upwards of a couple of $600,000, $700,000, and they're not in the industry.
They're not doing anything
that they were trained for.
Right.
So don't you think that's a crisis?
Exactly.
I think that's critical.
And see, that's part of that 6 hours of resources thing. That's exactly what that is. You know?
Yeah, right.
Because if the resources were staying longer, then maybe they would have a chance to get an opportunity in the field in which they practice.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Right. Or a friend of mine said that his friend told him, I took care of my kids. He goes, okay, you took care of your kids. You sent them to school. You did this and so forth and so on. So when you're gone and they go to make connections and there's nobody that look like them that they can connect to who then can help them get up the ladder like you do, then that 6 hours makes a big difference.
That's right.
And to be able to connect with people that have synergy and cultural similarities to you, which is how the other ethnicities do it.
Right.
That's significant. So forget about you, Mr. over 50 years old. Think about your children if they can't connect with somebody that looks like them can help them have the opportunities, those abundant opportunities for their future.
Right.
That's how we have to look at things on them. But we have to look, we need people. We're going to wrap up today with be broader in your thought processes.
That's right.
See the bigger picture.
Don't be a slave to tradition.
Tradition.
Tradition. Don't be a slave.
Exactly. So we are done with our 2 hours today, and it's been a great conversation.
This has been a very stimulating conversation.
Don't run out there to the red box tonight.
I know, man.
Ron, don't be going to look at your VHSs.
Unbelievable.
Guys, we've had a great time today.
This has been a wonderful show.
So we will see you guys next Friday. And who knows what we'll come up with next week.
Help you to grow your business.
Right, exactly. So have a great weekend, guys. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. And we'll catch you next week.
We're out.
As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we grow, using procurement,